The Industrial Revolution was the transition to new manufacturing processes in the period from about 1760 to sometime between 1820 and 1840. Britain was the birthplace of the Industrial Revolution. Before the Revolution, people lived in small farming communities. Britain was the birthplace for several reasons, one being the great deposits of coal and iron, which proved essential for industrialization. They were also a politically stable society. This time period brought huge improvements to industry. Two industries that were transformed were the textile industry and the iron industry. Textiles were previously made primarily in the home. After the Revolution, they were primarily made in factories because of the invention of the cotton gin by Eli Whitney and the sewing machine by Elias Howe. Iron and steel proved to be essential materials used to make things including appliances, tools, machines, ships, buildings, and infrastructure. These materials went on to create the steam engine. It was used to pump water out of mines and later used to power machinery, cars, and ships. They also allowed for the invention of interchangeable parts on firearms, which led to the assembly line. Transportation of goods was also greatly improved. Before the steam engine, horse-drawn wagons and boats on canals and rivers were used for transport. Later, the steamboat made the transfer of goods much faster because it could go against the current, unlike previous boats. Additionally, around 1820, roads were made smoother, more durable, and less muddy. In 1837, the first commercial electric telegraph was invented by Samuel Morse. Railways helped to install cables across the Atlantic. This time period also saw the rise of banks, industrial finances, and the stock exchange was established. Furthermore, the factory systems were dependent on owners and managers. Even though there were many improvements, the quality of life for many dropped. Although the standard of living went up, social classes became more and more separate. The rich got richer and the poor got poorer. For the factory workers in big cities, life was difficult because this class was hugely made up of immigrants. Irish mill girls are a good example of how some of them may have lived. They lived on factory grounds and boarding houses and spent the majority of their time working. Children were also involved in the labor force and were given dangerous tasks such as cleaning out the machinery. By the mid-19th century, industry was well developed in the West, and by the early 20th century, the U.S. was the world's leading industrial nation.